Well, a little over a year ago, I just as a novelty made a couple pairs of earrings, just kind of playing around, experimenting. And when festival time came, I took a whole bunch of bowls and some platters and goblets and those 2 sets of earrings down to festival. The only thing of mine that sold was the earrings. So I took that as an omen or a sign or something. Nobody's making earrings, maybe that's the thing to get involved in. So I started exploring that a little more. I'm certainly no expert. Maybe some of you will have suggestions as we go through this on how to do it better. I'd welcome that. I only got pin jaws a couple months ago. I turned most of my, where's that other chuck?
It's in the bag.
Here it is. I turned most of my earrings just on a regular chuck with the jaws on it, but putting the wood down in the center hole. And that worked okay. The pin jaws are a little better, but if you don't have pin jaws, don't let that stop you. So I just, you got lots of material to work with in your scrap bin for this kind of work. So I just make about a 3/4 by 3/4 or maybe 5/8 by 5/8 blank, set it up. It's pretty important to get to the center on the tail end because that's going to be rechucked, and if it's off center then the piece isn't going to work very well. So just get it set up and then begin turning. A little lower on the tool rest. And I don't turn it all the way to the end because this is going to get rechucked here, so I keep the square. I just want to turn it down to whatever diameter it's working with. I started out making it a little thicker, but I'm finding that to go a little smaller diameter, they're a little more beefy, a little more appealing. So we get down to a diameter that we're comfortable with, and then I turn them so that they're end to end. The bottom of the earring is in the center, and the tops are on the sides. So I pick where center is going to be. I'll establish that. Leaving just a little space between them. Something like that. And then just begin to put a taper on. These are going to be teardrop shape. So put a little taper on each. Looks like we're not tight on this tailstone. But I don't want to taper it down too much on the ends yet, because it's very easy to break them. So I look at the two pieces and try to make sure that they're about the same size and symmetrical. And then when I'm satisfied with that, if I'm going to embellish it all, I'd like to put a couple of rings, burned rings on it. So I'll mark spots to burn. So I just got a piece of wire here. So we burn that, give a little character there. And then when I'm satisfied with that rough shape, I'll begin to separate the two pieces here. Set that one aside, and can go ahead and work on finishing this one off. I'm going to taper this down a little more. I'm only going to go about that far for now. I've got to take that down to a smaller diameter before it's done. But if I do that now, it's likely to break when I sand it. So I leave that a little bit thick. In order to do some sanding on it. But I like these scalloped sanding discs because the little tabs on the corner can come in and sand it pretty well. If you just sand, push on one side, they tend to break. So you got to get pressure on both sides and equalize that in order to hold them together. Quickly run through the grits. I normally go up to about 400. Having that done, I put the finish on it at this point as well, as much as I can. And I use just a high friction polish. I'm not sure what's in it, but it's...
Do you know which one it is?
This is Craft Supplies.
Okay.
I think it's probably some shellac or something.
Okay.
Something else there. So, polish that up. And again, I try to put pressure on both sides so as not to break the piece. Really? come back to turn the final diameter down here at the bottom. I try to get it down to a little less than an eighth. Like that. And then back to the same process again. You just smooth off the last part. There we go. And then that's ready to part off. So that comes off, and there's just a tiny little bump on the end. Just run that off over a piece of sandpaper to make that smooth. Touch that in with some finish, and that half of the set is done. Then, where's the other piece that and the trick on the second one is to make sure it matches the first one, size-wise. Got a little wobble there. And I like to hold it up and compare. A little bit short on the second one. far as the hardware goes, I've bought most of it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but also bought some online, so it's available out there in lots of places. But if you're interested in trying this and don't want to invest in, you know, a package of 150 pieces or something, I brought along some little packets here that have enough hooks and screws to do 3 sets of earrings as a way to kind of check it out. So if you're interested, those are available here, 50 cents for a bag to make 3 sets. Okay, so now they're turned and ready for hardware. Turned and ready for hardware. I like to mark the spot for the screw hole. Are you able to see that, Doug?
When you're done, just aim it. Yeah, see, now I can see it. Whoops.
Yeah, the challenge was to find a drill bit small enough to drill the hole for these tiny little eye screws. And I found the bits. Some are less than a millimeter around at Harbor Freight.
Okay.
And they're too small to fit in a regular drill chuck, but they also sell these little chuck pen type of thing that'll hold that very tiny bit. So that's what I use, and drill it by hand, just turning it like this. It's kind of slow, but you don't need a whole lot of hole.
I think they got a little tiny drill press.
Little drill press.
Yep, and then you can bring that to the show and pierce ears too,
Yeah.
if they don't have their ears pierced.
Yeah, you can be all services, see?
Yeah.
Full service, you bet. Okay, so we got our hole. Now, here are the eye screws. Hardest part of the project is getting these little bags open.
Getting out one.
And these are so small that I really can't handle them with my fingers. So I handle them with the needle nose pliers.
You just used it on to make the initial hole.
Yeah, just so that I can make sure that I get the hole where I want it. The drill tends to wander a little bit. I got this one a little bit off center. And then we need hooks
said?
These I got at Hobby Lobby, yep.
Are they just hooks or lever backs?
Are they what?
Hooks or lever backs? Lever backs got a little clap.
No, these are hooks. I think they call them fish hooks. There are different kinds of earring attachments. But I think these are called fish hooks.
We got someone here that can display them for us, if she wants to try them on.
Good, yeah.
Model them for us. Give that away, eh? Oh, yeah.
You're just squeezing the loop on it then, or?
I'm just squeezing the loop onto the eye screw. Yep. So that's it.
He said he's got fish hooks, but Barb would probably heard of.
Yeah. Take it out, it's hard, yeah.
Now, what would you charge for those?
$15.
Do you make longer ones?
Yeah.
Two-piece ones? What other varieties do you make?
It's been fun to kind of dream up different design ideas.
Have you done any acrylic?
The resin type things, I have not done that, but that'd be another fun way to go.
All little wind chimes.
Possibilities are endless.
Show him his display there.
Yeah. Just made some Christmas trees this week.
Getting ready for next year?
Yeah.
What do you use for your cards? Business card?
This is just regular cardstock, and I just cut it. I found the hoops to be a little more challenging because they're easy to turn and finish one side, but then the back side you got to remount them to turn that off, and that's a little harder.
How do you turn the flat round?
How do you turn what?
How do you chuck up or turn the flatter round with this?
One on the bottom.
Like these down here?
They can't see it.
Yeah.
That's next month.
Well, those I turned side grain instead of spindle was. So I had a block about 2 inches thick that I laminated with the maple in there, and then turned it round, parted it off, and then had to remount it. I essentially made a little jam chuck, jammed up in there, and then turned and finished the backside that way.
What was the
Could
question?
you hear that? He was saying for drilling the hole, you could take a small brad and chuck it up, and you put it in the headstock and drill the hole with the brad. He's saying when you're screwing in that tiny little eye screw, you may twist the head off because if it's too tight in the hole.
Real easy to twist it
So
off.
if you make the hole just a little bit bigger, so you can just slide the eye screw in, put a little drop of CA glue on it, and stick it in, you don't have that problem.
That also works if you drill the hole too big.
Yes.
The gentleman in the back was saying something about corrosion. What, I didn't hear it all.
He was saying that some of the hooks from Hobby Lobby or those kind of places, after a number of years, they've corroded.
Do they tell you if that's gold plated or?
It's definitely not gold plated, I know, because of the price.
The reason I ask is that my wife has, her metabolism is such that she can turn those green in a couple days just by the fluid in her skin. And she has to have 14 karat or something.
Well, I know they also have hypoallergenic earring
Look for nickel-plated
material.
or stainless steel, I'd say.
Excuse me,
Look for nickel-plated or stainless steel, I'd say, to reduce corrosion.
good nickel plated or stainless steel.
I would think real brands, it's a jewelry and art supply house in New Mexico, I think. But you could probably get all kinds of different things like that from
Good.
them, because they have, I mean, it's a gigantic art business. It's big.
Rio Grande.
Real art, yeah. G-R-A-N-D-E, I think.
Good.
I think your wife says too, she's allergic to everything except solid diamonds, real ones.
A couple of things about this. First, those things are called findings, if you're looking for them online. All of the books and everything is called jewelry findings. I don't use the screws. I do a lot of earrings, but I don't use the screws, and I do the same thing with some of my small Christmas ornaments. I've got a little pair of, they look like pliers, but they actually form the eye on a piece of the wire. I buy the wire and then I form it myself. I also have that for the hooks, the fish hook earrings. I have one of those for those, and if you watch for a 50% off coupon at Michael's, you can buy these things. They're only 25 bucks or whatever, so you get it for $12.50 for the pliers. And then I just use CA glue to glue them in. And I buy my drill bits in bulk online, and you look for the number drill, the size you need. And you can buy it. I can't remember the name of the site. I just can't remember it right now. I tried to look it up, but there's a site, you buy a tube of 10 of them or whatever for, they're fairly expensive because they're like $8 or $9 for a tube. But they last quite a while, and I mean, they're good. The ones I buy are very good. And I've got them in a whole bunch of different sizes for the different wires that The other thing is I never use the cone center on my live center. I always take that off because that has a tendency, if you put enough pressure on, to split your wood, the small wood. So you take that off, and I use the one with the concentric ring on it that's underneath there. That holds it together better.
Good idea, yeah.
Any other questions?
You can knock the center point out of it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's give Darryl a big hand. Thank you. Oh yeah, Ralph's got some.